Some good news coming out of California once again, which Mike's going to talk to us today on this episode of the Not So Critical Update.
A California bill known as the Kids Code is on its way to the desk of Governor Gavin Newsom. The California Age Appropriate Design Code Act, California Age Appropriate Design Code Act, is designed to fill in some loopholes from the federal Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. That's the COPA checkbox that says you're 13 years old. John's been clicking that for a few years. The main criticism is that the protections are limited to children under the age of 13 and only where the app is specifically aimed at children. This ignores the fact that teens use a great many apps not specifically targeted at them. So the new law calls for all apps to be child safe by default.
Okay, cool, great. Well done.
Fully on board, Peter?
Fully on board. Absolutely.
So how do you verify this?
Yeah, we actually have another story specifically about age verification. That's
Right.
one of the huge concerns. The other is that it's not really well defined who would be subject to this. As it reads, a lot of people think basically every website and app everywhere.
Yeah.
That's totally fair. And for like entire industries, they're not going to be affected. Fintech, not affected. They pretty much have to do KYC and which stands for Know Your Customer. They have to get verification documentation, things like IDs, whatever. They're safe. They're not, they're not the ones who are worried. Any social medium, how do you verify this? Are you going to be using a third-party verifier like for buying tobacco products online that checks?
It's funny. It's funny when you say it in the singular, social medium. It sounds like one of those psychics who's just like really chatty with the ghosts.
I hate saying social medias.
Yeah, it's true. Well, media is plural, right? It's the
I
plural of
guess
medium,
that's fair.
Like math.
So every social medium, every
Sorry.
really
Social platforms.
socially
There
active
we go.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Anyway, sorry, you were saying.
Digitally interactive. Something. What was I saying? Yeah. Are they going to use like a third-party dodgy data broker verifier that's like, oh yeah, we have 200 data points on every person ever, and we can check pretty much from just their past use how old they are. Super scary.
So we're just going to skip ahead then and make this segment about both stories because the idea of age verification is a huge point of concern. And one of the arguments that the identity companies or verification companies are making is that age verification is not necessarily identity verification. So you might not need or have or store the identifying information to be able to do age verification.
So I need to upload a picture of my face with me holding my ID, and I just have to trust that they're going to delete that.
It's going to do fancy shit like, okay. Yeah, fancy stuff like, looking at your eyes and seeing if it can detect the innocence left in your soul.
Right.
Well, that is one of the proposals, that they use AI to guess your age versus having to send in a bunch of documentation.
Yikes!
I'm not joking. It is basically is that. And it's very scary. It's so dumb because it's going to be just the instant that they try and do that, there's going to be 100 exceptions and they're all going to be awful.
And what happens to the false positives? How many people look younger than they are? And also, I can see this. This is going to be, I mean fast. They're going to figure out a way for kids to use deep fakes to make themselves look older. Look at the Snapchat filters.
God. Do you know what? I didn't even think of that. That's so true.
That overlay you to look like an old person. They are so convincing. It's terrifying. Me and my wife did them.
I'm using one right now, by the way.
Right, of course. And we look so
Peter's
old.
actually a 13-year-old
it's
girl.
Real. So you're 100% going to be able to do this. I don't know if they'll be basically holding two phones, right? That's showing like a video with a filter on, or how they're going to figure this out, but not good. I don't like this at all.
So what's that mean to the original law then? So if we look at the Kids Code Act that wants applications to be kid safe by default, I don't know if there's a ton of controversy there, but how do you do that? So what are the implications to the does it become unenforceable? Does it become a huge privacy violation in itself, even though it's trying to protect kids? What's the
Okay?
Yeah,
where does it go?
Feels super weird.
First of all, this is unenforceable. There's nothing in the world that is going to be absolutely enforceable. So you have to accept some degree of kids are going to get around it. That's what kids do. That's what I did. Whatever it is. So there's no perfect solution to this, and I think you just have to come up with a good enough version. And the definition of what's good enough is the thing that's up for debate.
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to see how they try to figure this one out, because I cannot, off the top of my head, I cannot think of a good solution. The only solution here is to basically ban children from X age and under to use the internet unless it's in a controlled environment with someone monitoring their usage. That's the only way I could see it, where the parents get prosecuted if they get caught, if the kid gets caught. Similar to if a kid gets caught drinking, in America, the parent is the one that they go after.
Really?
Of course, yeah, because it's your job to guardian. You're their guardian. You should make sure that they're not committing crime.
Okay. Fair enough.
In this case, it's intended to be a fail-safe system, meaning anything that's publicly available should be geared towards, should be non-harmful to children. And if you want to access content that is not safe for kids, then you have to prove that you're old enough. You don't have to.
And how do you deem what's safe? What is, because it's safe to take a kid to a, I don't know, like PG-13 rated movie where people are getting shot, but they're not swearing, you guys.
But yeah, smoking.
So it's safe. They get their head cut off, but there's no blood. So
well, in the
safe.
Article, and I don't know if this is codified. What, Peter?
No nipples.
No nipples.
I know. In the article, I don't know if this is codified in the bill. They talk about geolocation. They talk about facilitating meetups. They talk about sharing personally identifiable information as things that kids should not be able to do by default on any of these apps or websites. But if you're an adult who does want to do those things, then you have to somehow prove your age to be able to access them. So then that's where all these other concerns come up.
This sounds like a very, very loosely veiled privacy nightmare.
Yeah, it really does. Oh God, why is it every time technology gets introduced to something, it's just oh God.
This doesn't sound like they want to track the kids. It sounds like they want to track the adults who are accessing, over 13, over 18 data.
I don't know if it was that was the intent, but it's a very happy accident, isn't it?
It's a really happy accident.
Oh, we're gonna have to take everybody's information.
Yeah.
Well, never mind. We'll have this huge database of everybody that uses the service. Yeah.
But by that argument, that now you're back to all or nothing territory. Either everything is available to everyone without any age verification, or nothing is available to anyone because you want to avoid age verification.
Look, I think that putting you have to be 13 to use Twitter checkbox, or some kind of small impediment to starting up. Why not? But some kind of like full database of like a proper KYC thing. It's not gambling. It's the real world, right? If you go into a betting shop in the UK, you have to go through all. You go to a pub, then they'll check you at the door and say you don't look 18, and they'll have basic, prevention measures, but they don't have it on supermarkets which sell alcohol. I don't know.
And advertise alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever's appropriate to the situation.
But you'd have to do that at checkout.
No, that's true. Yes.
No, but they're still being exposed to it, right?
Well,
this is all about exposure.
The issue of going into a bar isn't partially, I guess, it's exposure to the environment, but you're going to the bar to drink at the bar.
Yeah.
Right, but you could be going in to get a Coke. It's sort of the difference I was trying to make. Like it's
Or
they're
a
they're
restaurant, or a restaurant is also the same argument. They're not going to check you at the door, but they're serving and advertising alcohol.
But they'll check you at the
It's
table
the
if you
same.
look underage.
Sure.
Yeah, you should
It's
always be
tough.
prevented from doing something bad.
Like one
My
way
point
or
was
But
really
another.
we're okay. I think it's actually a bad example, Peter. Sorry, because we're
Okay.
talking about
Don't
a controlled
apologize.
substance. We're talking about a controlled
Fuck you.
substance versus content. This is a picture of alcohol.
Okay, okay,
this is the equivalent.
then adult toy stores. Adult toy stores. That actually sounds like a Toys R Us that has more interesting
Sex shops.
That's
merchandise.
kind of
that.
what
Sex
it
shop,
is,
yeah.
right?
Okay, so yeah, sex shops won't let a kid in the door, but news agents will put their porn mags on the top shelf, something like that. Is that a better example?
No,
Just saying
because
there's
Mike will
different
still use the
degrees.
same argument that when you go up to the register to buy this porn mag as a kid, they're going to ask
Yeah.
for your ID.
Yeah, like in all these cases, it's a matter of how close to the point of sale do you need to put up the protections. Some stuff
But
you
it's
don't want.
but it's still accessible. A kid can go into a grocery store, go into the alcohol aisle, pick up a beer,
God.
crack it open, and
I
chug
really regret trying to come up
Sure,
with
but
the
we have
metaphor here, 'cause-
protections. You've got to hand your driver's license to somebody to see it.
No,
to make the
no,
purchase.
You literally to make the purchase. Sure, yeah, of course.
Sure, but if you're gonna,
you get to hold it.
yeah. But if you're gonna break the law,
it.
then yeah, the system didn't work. Obviously, got it. But within the law, you're giving up your personal information to get access to the thing that you want.
Okay.
Very temporarily.
Different example. And actually, no, that's not going to work. It's America. I was going to say, if you want to go and buy a gun,
No,
then they'll do all sorts of background checks on you.
I don't
If you
know.
want to buy a gun, you can go to a trade show. You can go to a local
You
park.
can go to Toys R Us.
You can go to a
It was
convenience
literally
store. Yeah, Toys R Us.
All right, if you want to vote, I don't know.
Wait.
If you wanna
You
do
actually
something-
you actually triggered something for me. Toys R Us,
Yeah.
probably the biggest supplier of toy guns.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Right? We want to protect these kids from violent things and extreme things, and we sell them toy guns and toy bombs.
guys,
It's
and
possible that that's changed some since we were kids.
I mean,
I
if
don't
I go
think-
into a Toys, I haven't been in Toys R Us in about 20 years.
I mean, I
Last-
guess you've got airsoft that are kind of military looking, realistic. You're going to find many
those are
fewer
adult-
realistic guns.
Airsoft is what do you call it? That's marketed as adult toys.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. We're not getting
Yeah.
anywhere with this.
No.
What do you think, Mike? What do you think is an appropriate prevention measure here?
In terms, so oh man, I don't like a lot of this. I don't like the burden that it's going to put on the companies to have to meet this requirement. I don't like the verification process that's going to have to be put in place. Like, there are just a ton of logistical problems with doing this. I know the hardship of the app developers is not a concern for you, Peter. You've been very clear on that with respect to the GDPR stuff. I don't know. People weren't. I wish people weren't such assholes all the time.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, it's always good to start at home with these kind of things. So,
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
I'm talking about you being an asshole, just to be very clear. So,
Yeah, no, I got it. Thanks.
Yeah. Good.